الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله ثم أما بعد. After praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending salutations upon his blessed noble prophet, we're with our second class, وَبَارَكَ اللَّهُ فِيكُمْ في نبتة الصيام, just taking a glimpse or just barely breaking the surface about the issues of fasting by Al-Imam Fadilatul Shaykh Muhammad ibn Salih Al-Uthaymin. And this book is entitled Nabtatul Siyam, which really means, Nabtatu means penetration or poking a hole, just scratching the surface of the issue of fasting. And the Shaykh is also including the different rulings relating. Hukmuhu waqsam an-nasifi. Hukmuhu means what are the legal verdicts from the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Messenger around the issue of fasting. وَأَقْسَامُ النَّاسِ فِيهِ. And there are different people. People fall into different categories as it relates to fasting. Everyone doesn't have the same obligation nor the same exception. And then the Shaykh, he mentions other benefits in this treatise. The last time we were together, we mentioned the statement of the Shaykh, the muftirat. Muftirat means the things that are from the iftar, that break your fast. There are various things that may break your fast. So, inshallah ta'ala, we'll pick up where we left off from the last class. We also would like to remind the people this book is in Arabic. If someone is following along, inshallah, please feel free to correct me as I'm reading from memory. Wa barakallahu fikum. And it's also a very brief book. It's not going to bring all of the details and so forth like his major book, Majalis of Sharh Ramadhan. The book that he did is sitting on the whole month of Ramadan. This is just a brief glimpse, inshallah ta'ala. The Shaykh, he began, we had said, after praising Allah and sending salutations on the Messenger sallallahu by saying, Siyam Ramadan للتعبد يعني لله تبارك وتعالى. The fasting in Ramadan, it is an act of worship. That's the first thing somebody should make sure that he makes notes. وهو يعني تعبد لله. الصيام وهو تعبد لله. He said the psalm, the fasting, وهو تعبد لله. It is to make ibadah to Allah. And we mentioned many classes that the term ibadah has many glimpses, has many perspectives. The easiest way to sum it up is to obey Allah. That's ibadah. Anytime you obey Allah, this is considered ibadah. We also have a more detailed but still concise meaning that Shaykh Islam ibn Taymiyyah is famous for, and it is in line with the Book of Allah and the Sunnah. He said that the ibadah, ismul jama'. Ismul jama'. Ismul here means it's a thing, a person or a place. So here, he's talking about ibadah. So we know it's not a thing, it's not a place. But we know it's not a person, pardon me. We know it's not a thing, so therefore it's a place. Pardon me. We know it's not a person or a place. It's not one of the two P's, person or place. We know it's not a person. Ibadah can't be a person. It can't be a place. You can do ibadah in a place, but ibadah can't be a place. And therefore the last thing is a thing, is an object. So here the Shaykh, he said, Ismul Jama'. It is a, Jama' here means something that's compact. If we say have a compact car, or have a compact dryer, or you say, I have a very concise small essay to write. This is one of the means of jama'. He said, Ismul Jama'. It is a small comprised thing. this word ibadah. لِكُلِّ مَا يُحِبُّ اللَّهُ وَيَرْضَاهُ, of everything that Allah He loves and that He is pleased with. Somebody is on the line. I don't know, wa barakallahu fikum, every class I'm having to make this announcement about the mute. When everyone comes into the classroom, they should be automatically muted, and they should have to unmute themselves to be heard. But someone every time without fail, I don't know if it's the same person, but someone every time without fail, when they enter, their phone is unmuted. And the reason we know, because we can hear every move. If the phone moves, or they scratch their face, or they rub their head, or they grab the paper, or if people in the background, all of this noise is heard over the phone lines, and it's very disturbing. So can you please, barakallahu fikum, in a kind way, I ask you please to mute your phones. Wa barakallahu fikum. Check your phones to see if they are unmuted. They should be muted. You should have a button that says mute. Barakallahu fikum. Naam. So the Sheikh, he mentioned Ismul Jami'. لِكُلِّ مَا يُحِبُّ اللَّهُ وَيَرْضَاهُ, everything that Allah He loves and that He is pleased with. Then this is one of the definitions Shaykh Islam Taymiyyah gave as ibadah. So when Shaykh Uthaymeen, he says, as-sawm وَهُوَ تَعَبُّدْ لِلَّهِ. وَهُوَ تَعَبُّدْ لِلَّهِ. It is a thing that has been commanded and that Allah is pleased with. Also, ibadah is one of the things we should remember that a person does to gain nearness to Allah. And this is how people make innovation, because they try to find things to get them close to Allah, but there's just one problem. There's no sanction for it in the religion. There's no nas text from the book of Allah, nor the sunnah of the Messenger ﷺ for it in the religion. So here, the Shaykh, he said, وَهُوَ تَعَبُّدْ لِلَّهِ is very important. Fasting is an act of worship. It is something to gain you nearness to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Therefore, we mentioned many times the highlight in the verse on the fasting. Allah said, يَعْنِي لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you may gain piety, so that you may be from those who watch what they do. That which is of bad sin, they leave it, they avoid it, and they rush and they try to maximize what they do of the good deeds. So this is why the Shaykh, he said, as-sawm wa ta'abbud lillah. It is worship to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And it's not an issue of being fit or losing a few pounds. Although this may happen, this may take place. You may gain this athar as-sawm, the effects of fasting. One of them, you may be a little more fit. You may lose a few pounds. You may look good. Alhamdulillah. لكن المقصود ما سيكون هذا إلا هو ليس من العبادة. A person cannot have this in mind. I'm only going to fast because I want to lose weight. This is a good opportunity this time of the year for me to lose weight, so that's why I'm fasting. Then it is not ibadah. A person cannot say, well, I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to get fit, so this is why I'm doing it. No. And I remember when I was in college back in the 90s, and I won't tell nobody my age, alhamdulillah. I was in college back in the 90s, and I had a classmate. She was a female, and she used to participate in the fast of Ramadan. So I asked her, I said, are you Muslim? And she said, no, I just do it because I like to do it. I like the spirit of fasting, and I just like to do it. And she did it every Ramadan, but she was a non-Muslim. Is there anyone that would think for her, this is the statement of the Shaykh, وَهُوَ تَعَبُّدْ لِلَّهِ, for her it's an issue of worship to Allah? No. Because the worship has to be, barakallahu fikum, as we mentioned many classes, Qawal Arba, we mentioned it. Usul al-Sitta, we mentioned it. We mentioned, barakallahu fikum, in the tafsir. We mentioned Usul Tafsir. We mentioned many times. It has to be ikhlasan lillah, only for Allah. Meaning because Allah commands you and you want to draw close to Allah, you want to gain His nearness and the mercy from Him and being more beloved to Him by doing this act. So this is why the Shaykh said, وَهُوَ تَعَبُّدْ لِلَّهِ. He said, Bitaraka muftarat. This is by leaving the things that breaks the fast. So anything that has been made clear that it breaks the fast, you must leave. And there are some things that's a difference of opinion, like the issue of vomiting. The issue of vomiting. The issue of vomiting is a difference of opinion. Some people of knowledge of the past have said that it breaks your fast. Others say that it does not. And some say if you do it on purpose, then it breaks the fast. Others say if it's not on purpose, you have nothing to do with it, you become sick, it doesn't break your fast. But things that are clear, such as jama' fi Sharh Ramadhan, such as intercourse between spouses. And we have to say between spouses because you shouldn't have girlfriend and boyfriend anyway. It breaks your fast still. But we're not going to say, just intercourse in the daytime. We want to highlight it should be between spouses. If you are not married, and let's not act like Muslims are not making whoopee. Muslims getting down. A'udhu billah. Muslims are making top zina in the land, as they say, like it's okay. A whole lot of hanky-panky and outside of marriage relationships going on. A'udhu billah. And then the issue is a person should not have relations with the mates in the daytime of Ramadan, because that's halal. And this is where the first things of the breaking of the fast starts, with the things that are halal, not the prohibited things, the things that are halal, such as akal wa shurb. Akal, eating. Shurb, drinking. Those are two of the first things that are part of your fast. As we mentioned this before, you eat and drink until the white thread appears from the black thread, meaning daw an-nahar min sawad al-layl. Daw, the brightness or light, you see some radiation. Nahar, daytime. So from the time you can tell that it's daytime, or you have a clear indication, such as the adhan, or in some narrations we have the iqama. You can stop at the adhan, or the latest, the iqama for eating, when you can hear the adhan and the iqama by narrations. This is the first of the two things, the stopping of the eating and drinking. And they are by no doubt halal. They are okay for everyone to do. Male, female, young, old, Muslim, non-Muslim, everyone has to eat and drink. So those are from the first two things. And then we say jama' bayna zawjayn, the intercourse between legal spouses. وَهَكَذَا بَارَكَ اللَّهُ فِيكُمْ. If a person has a girlfriend or has a boyfriend, or worse than that, a'udhu billah, this is the issue of homosexuality. Muslims are doing this too. Let's be straight. This is straight talk. We're not playing around. This is serious. Then you should leave that off. You should leave it off anyway. But wallahi, know that if you're fasting, this is part of it. You can't play a trick and say, well, the verdict is for Allah musta'an, having relations between mates. We're not married, so that don't include me. No, it includes you, because it's general and specific. So the Shaykh keep mentioning, how is this Sawm wa huwa ta'abbud lillah? How is it ibadah to Allah? Bi taraka muftirat, by leaving all of the things that break your fast, the halal of it and the haram of it. Min tulu'il fajri, from the time you are clear that it's fajr. This is what's meant by tulu'il fajri. There's the different verdicts about this. Ila ghurub shamsi. Ghurub, decline. Shamsi, the sun, until the sun goes down. And the Shaykh, he said, and this will understand to be the issue of fasting. Now, the Shaykh also mentioned صيام رمضان أحد أركان الإسلام عظيمة. نعم، صيام رمضان أحد أركان الإسلام عظيمة. It is one of the great pillars of Islam. One of the great pillars. Wallahi, one of the great pillars. And there's a position from the Salaf, from the Sahaba. If a person doesn't fast purposely, he abandons the fast without an excuse, some of the Sahaba have mentioned that that person is murtad. He leaves the religion. Why? Because it's an arkan of Islam, a pillar of Islam. Just as the issue of the salat. Some of the Sahaba have mentioned the one who leaves the salat, yani murtad an al-Islami. He leaves Islam because it's a pillar, barakallahu fikum, of the Islam. Wahakad al-zakat. And some of the Sahaba, they took a position, whoever does not pay the zakat, the annual zakat, that's upon certain people, and he has the wealth, and he knows that he should pay it, he refuses, يعني ماذا يرتد عن دينه. He leaves the religion, such as in the time of Abu Bakr, when he fought against the people who were murtad. And the reason they were murtad, they didn't pay the zakat. And he said that the haqq of the money of zakat, the responsibility of this is not just give it to a human or this go into my pocket. He said, no, this is the right of the wealth that Allah has made on you. You have to give it. And if you deny that, then this is denying one of the pillars of Islam, and thus it is kufr, and he fought against them. Also, some of the ulama, they mentioned of the Sahaba, barakallahu fikum, the same thing about the Hajj, that the person should make once in a lifetime if he or she has the ability and they are able physically, they're not sick, and they have the means, they should make it. If they abandon that purposely, there's a position from the Salaf, from the Sahaba, that person, he leaves Islam. So these are issues in the religion, and thus the Shaykh is mentioning the loftiness of Ramadan. Huwa ahadu arkan Islam azim. It is one of the great pillars of Islam. The great pillars of Islam. And what does the Shaykh use for as the dalil? Because in order to say that you must have a text, it said, لقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بني الإسلام على خمس بني الإسلام على خمس. Islam is built upon 5 things. Without those 5, we have no Islam. He said, شهادتي أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمد رسول الله وماذا وإقام الصلاة. إقام الصلاة is the obligation of establishing the salah. وإيتاء الزكاة, paying the zakat for those who are in that category. وصوم رمضان, fast in the month of Ramadan. والحج البيت الحرام, and making the pilgrimage to the house of Allah, the sacred house in Mecca. متفق عليه. And this hadith is in the Bukhari and Muslim. When you hear mutafaqun, that means agreed upon. Alay, that thing that you're talking about. So mutafaqun alay means Bukhari, you and Muslim. These are the 2 that they have hadith that they agreed upon. 2 of the greatest scholars of hadith and contemporaries. They are what is called Bukhari and Muslim. Imam Bukhari, Imam Muslim, and mutafaqun alayhi is another way of saying they both have that hadith in their collection. The last time in the class with barakallahu fikum, I made a mistake when I quote the hadith. I quote the hadith with the proper wording, which is the hadith, the wording that the Prophet mentioned in the hadith of Jibreel, which is no harm in that. But here the Shaykh didn't mention that narration. He mentioned a different wording. There's there, and tashhad an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah wa tuqimu salat. The ta here is when you're talking to somebody. So Jibril asked the Prophet, and he responded back to him in the second person. So, and tashhad rather than shahadati, because he's talking to Jibril. Here in this narration is shahadati an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah wa iqam salat rather than yani wa tuqimu salat. And I narrated the wrong wording. But alhamdulillah, it is not lying on the Prophet, but for the issue of being truthful and giving the responsibility and the respect to what the Shaykh wrote, I have to quote what the Shaykh has wrote in his book. So I'm re-quoting that hadith that we mentioned last time. The Sheikh, he mentioned the narration that goes, Shahadati an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah wa iqam salat wa ita' zakah wa sawm Ramadan wa hajjul bayt al-haram. Muttafaqun alayh. We mentioned this before, wa barakallahu fikum, that many of the ulama, wa ana lastu minhum, ana tuwaib al-al, wa nas'al Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala an yaj'alni min ماذا زمر هؤلاء إن شاء الله. And I'm saying this to make a point. I am not saying that I am from the ulama. I am a miniature student, and I pray Allah raise me in the ranks of those great scholars, alhamdulillah, that many of them would quote any wordings mistakenly, because you're talking about so much information in the brain. It can happen. Like a computer can have memory and data and things get jumbled. This happens to the human mind. Even the Prophet, sometime he would have to be reminded. This is the human mind by Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Naam, jazakumullah khairan. The Shaykh also mentioned An-nasu fi siyam. An-nasu fi siyam. From amongst the first people, as this is the meaning of An-nas fi siyam. An-nas mean the people. An-nas fi siyam. The different types of people that are talked about during the fast. The Shaykh, he mentioned As-siyam yajib ala kulli muslimin balighan aqilan qadiran muqiman. So you have these issues the Sheikh is going to mention. First one, the Sheikh, he said the Sawm wajibun ala kulli muslimin. What does this mean? And this means every Muslim, and then he's going to give you the conditions. The first one, balighun. Balighun means he or she has attained the age where they are mukallaf. Mukallaf means responsible for your deeds. Mukallaf. And normally this ranges from person to person. We mentioned this before from the other work of the Shaykh Uthaymeen. When he talked about this issue, he mentioned al-ihtilam, the person having a wet dream, male or female. That's the first sign of baligh, puberty. Then he said, ash-sha'r al-ibti ana, the pubic hairs, meaning under the armpits and on the private. ثم بارك الله فيكم ثالثا عمر 15. If a person reaches the age of 15, Islamically, they are responsible for what they do. They cannot say, I'm not responsible, I'm just a youth, I'm just a kid. No, at 15, you start to assume responsibility, as you have all of the abilities and faculties and skills and experience to know what's right from wrong, to make good or bad choices. And if none of those things reach you, you never have a wet dream, you don't have pubic hair, you didn't reach 15, then the fourth one, which is exclusively for the female, is haid, when they become a young lady by the menstrual cycle. So these are from the things that are connected to baligh. The person has to have, the Sheikh said, baligh. So it said, as-sawm wajibu ala muslimin baligh, ala kulli muslimin baligh, the one who has attained puberty. Aqilun, the person must be sane. And we use this loosely as human beings, especially being Americans. You crazy. Well, something wrong with him, or he's out of his mind. But this is not how this is meant here. This really implies what it says. A person does not have the aql. They don't have the ability, the intellect, the know-how to do anything, with regards to these type of affairs of worship and having attention to please Allah, knowing the different ins and outs. They're not able, whether it's permanently or temporarily. And we understand from the society, temporarily insane. It happens. People go over the cliff totally, and sometimes people, Allahumma musta'an, they don't go totally, but they're in and out. So here, the Shaykh is mentioning the baligh first, pubic. Second, aql. It must be sane, or have the ability, the intellect, to carry out these acts of worship. Some retardation, some issues of different Down syndromes, and of course, the issue of one losing his or her mind is in that category. The Shaykh says, qadirun, have the ability. Naam, have the ability. Some people don't have the ability. Wallahu musta'an. If he's sick, with a chronic illness, such as suratan, cancer, sometimes they can't fast, depending on the level of cancer, because of the different types of medications that they have to take that require water or require some food on the stomach, etc. Barakallahu fikum. Qadirun. Naam, sometime a person reaches the age they're not able to because of feebleness of the mind or the body. The body can't take long periods of not eating and drinking or any type of stress to the body. So you have to be qadirun, have the ability. وَهَكَذَا بَارَكَ اللَّهُ فِيكُمْ مَاذَا حَاضِرٌ. Hadrun means you're at home. You're not a musafir. Musafir is from the word safara, to travel. Musafir is the one who's traveling. So hadr is the situation, you're being present, meaning you're muqim, the Shaykh mentions. You're at home, muqiman. Hadran, muqiman, you're home, not traveling. These are the four major things that makes fasting upon an individual. We should mention also, barakallahu fikum, qadirun, if the lady gets her menses. This is now she's not able, because the ruling for her is that she cannot fast while on her haid or on the bleeding after having the child. So the Shaykh mentioned four things for the obligation to be fulfilled for the Muslim to fast, and that is al-baligh, the age of discernment, pubic we call it, wathani, the second one, aqilun, he must be sane, she must be sane, must be sane, have the intellect, have the physical ability, mentally, to carry out these injunctions. The third one, qadirun alayhi, he must or she must have the ability. Nothing must not prevent them. They should not have any impediments keeping them from fasting. And they must be muqimun, hadirun, one who is at home, a resident, not traveling. In that case, then they should fast. The Shaykh mentions, barakallahu fikum, the next point, al-kafiru la yasum. Al-kafiru la yasum. Naam, that the kafir does not fast. وَلَا يَجِبُ عَلَيْهِ قَضَاء إِذَا أَسْلَمَ. And it is not for him to make up the days of fasting if he accepts Islam. If we miss fasting, legitimately or illegitimately, we have to make those days up. Now, this is from the Deen of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. Allah clearly mentioned this in the Quran. But if the person is a non-Muslim, fasting is already not upon him. Who could tell me why? Fasting is not upon the non-Muslim. Who can tell me why? Barakallahu feek. The fast is not upon the non-Muslim. Fasting. What? So there's two things here. The person answered, he said, the Muslim has to fast, and we ask, why does the non-Muslim not have to fast? It said that the non-Muslim, or in Arabic, the kafir. And there's no difference between kafir and non-Muslim, by the way. Some people feel that it's harsh. How could you call them kafir? Because Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala called them kafir. Who created them? Allah Azza wa Jal. Who knows them? Allah Azza wa Jal. Who has the right to call them by what they are? Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So Allah called them kafir. We say in English non-Muslim. So the kafir, Jazakumullah khairan. Please mute your phone, Barakallahu feek. The kafir, the Shaykh said, وَلَا يَجِبُ الصَّوْمَ عَلَى kafir. And the fast is not upon the non-Muslim, the kafir. We ask why. So the brother, Barakallahu feek, may Allah bless him, he said because he did not accept Islam yet. He did not accept Islam yet. So therefore fasting is not upon him. Meaning that if the Shaykh in the beginning said, as-sawm وَهُوَ تَعَبُّدْ لِلَّهِ, fasting, it is an act of worship to Allah, then that means in order to have that injunction upon you, you must first accept that Allah is your Lord. You must acknowledge that Allah is the one that created you and that He is the one that you should worship. Without that, the sawm, the fasting, is not accepted from you. So Allah is not going to compel you to do something that He's not going to accept by default. This is injustice. We've only been compelled to worship Allah out of the greatness of rububiyyah, out of the greatness of uluhiyyah, out of the greatness of His asma wa sifat, out of the greatness that He is our Lord, out of the greatness we are subservient to Him, out of the greatness that He has the best names and attributes. We have only been created for that purpose. So unless a person submits to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, then all of his work is in vain anyway. And Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala did not reveal anything in vain. If He tells you to worship Him, then the first line of worship is the belief in Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, that He exists, that He is the one that should be worshipped, He is the one who created everything, and He has the best names and attributes. Without that, you have no worship. So this is why the Shaykh said, وَلَا يَجِبُ عَلَى الْكَافِرِ. It is not upon the kafir. Now, he will not be rewarded because he does not believe. He will not do it because he is not accepted. So therefore, Allah has not put something on him for the act of playing with him or joking with him. No, it's a serious issue. The ibadah is designated and requested by Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in order that you show Him His haqq, that you show Him His right, that you give Him His greatness, that you give Him His glory and praise Him, and that you draw close to Him Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. وَلَا يَجِبُ عَلَيْهِ قَضَاء إِذَا أَسْلَمَ. The Shaykh said, and he does not have to make up the fasting that was not upon him, that he missed in those days, months, and years as a non-Muslim, if he accepts Islam. Can you imagine? A person is 50, he accepts Islam. And all of those 50 years, he has to fast all of those Ramadans, all of those days, because he didn't fast as a non-Muslim. That would be dhulm. That would be sharh. That would be evil and oppression. Therefore, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He's al-adil. He's the most just. He is al-halim, the most compassionate. And He will not put that on anyone. As Allah knows, you don't have the ability to do that anyway. So the Shaykh, he mentioned, وَلَا يَجِبُ قَضَاء إِذَا أَسْلَمَ. And he does not have to make up the fast, the non-Muslim, if he accepts Islam. Why? Because fasting is not upon him anyway. Now, and we'll take the last point, then we'll stop. الصغير لا يبلغ لا يجب عليه الصوم. الصغير لم يبلغ. The one who is صغير or صبي means a small child. He has not reached the puberty. لا يجب عليه الصوم. Then he does not have to fast. It is not an obligation. لكن يؤمر به li'ada. Now, li'ada. But however, he should be commanded to fast because of the training and the getting used to the issue of fasting that it provides for him. It's like a training process for him. And this is why you found many of the Sahaba instructing their children to fast a half a day, part of the day. They would give them sometimes, if they became annoyed or a little bit aggravated because of the fasting, they would give them something to preoccupy themselves, some type of toy or whatnot. And this is because the issue of fasting is not upon the one who's sabi. Sabi is the child who has not reached the age of puberty. However, yu'mar bihi li'ada. But they should be, recommendedly so, commanded to fast. As you are the parents, you have the right to instruct them with things that are good for their soul and that which does not harm them, in order to rear them as a good Muslim. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. We open the floor for questions. وبارك الله فيكم. بارك الله فيكم. أحسن إليكم. May Allah bless you all, inshaAllah ta'ala. These points are very precise, very brief, and the Sheikh, he wrote them just to give us a surface matter of the fasting. All of the evidence and stuff is in his bigger book, the Majalis of Ramadan, where he talked about the whole month of Ramadan. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Yurham Shaykhuna Imam Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymin, وَيُجْزِيهُ خَيْرًا عَنَ الْإِسْلَامُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ, and to give him a goodly reward for that which he left for Islam and the Muslims. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا هو أستغفرك وأتوب إليه. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.